Hello everyone, welcome back to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeved. Today we're covering some of my favourite characters within our card game, which is the Shadow Dragons. For those that don't know, I've played the yellow variant quite extensively, so it's great to see them coming out in red with a new archetype. It seems really good. I wasn't the biggest fan of the black Xeno Shadow Dragons, so it's nice to get another colour and a new archetype to kind of bring these characters back to life. Starting off with the leader, we've got the 1-star ball, permanent, so your deck can only include up to 6 Dragon Ball cards and can't include non-red battle cards, so we're not going to be having any Overrealm in this deck. And then permanent, this card can't attack, so we won't be swinging with our leader, but that's fine since we don't need that to draw and things like that, because we've got the activate main. Switch this card to rest mode, add up to 2 Dragon Ball cards from your deck and or life to your hand, and shuffle any areas that you look through with this skill. So similar to some of the old wish leaders that we've seen in the past, but worth noting that this is not a wish leader. As you can see, we have the awaken when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 6 or more Z energy. You may switch this card and up to 1 of your energy to active mode. So once we activate that awaken, we flip over and we do still have the ability to attack with our awaken leader, since this one's able to attack auto. When this card attacks, draw 1. We've got to activate main once per turn. Choose one of your Shadow Dragon battle cards and up to 1 battle card or unison. The chosen cards get minus 15,000 power for the turn. So a great way to remove markers off our opponent's unisons and things like all battle cards if we need to. We do need to neg one of our Shadow Dragons, but we'll see that some of them have some pretty great effects when they do get their power minused. Starting off with the extra card, we've got Crack Dragon Ball. It's a 0 cost, permanent. If this card is in your Z energy, it only leaves your Z energy when used for Shadow Dragon Z energy costs. So we're not able to use this card as Z energy for some of our other Z battle cards, just because they're restricted only to Shadow Dragon effects. It is a part of the cost to send the card from the Z energy to the drop area, so it won't trigger for anything non-Shadow Dragon. Activate main if your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card. Draw 1 and add this card to your Z energy from your drop. So we can quite easily accumulate Z energy very quickly in this deck. Moving into some of the battle cards, we've got Oceanus Shenron, Assembling Evil. It's a 2 cost, 9k with a permanent. If your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. Bring it down to a 1 cost. And when it's played, we get to draw a card and then place 1 Cracked Dragon Ball from our deck into our Z energy and then shuffle. And we've got an activate main limit 1. If our leader is a red Shadow Dragon card and our opponent has 3 or more energy, and you place this card from your hand or battle area in the drop, we get to choose one of our red Shadow Dragon cards in our battle area, and it gains barrier until the end of our opponent's next turn. So for our turn and our opponent's next turn, that card will have barrier. It is battle cards, so we're not going to be able to give our leader barrier and things like that. Not that we'd want to, but as we can see on the Haze Shenron, we've got pretty much the exact same effects, except on the activate battle here, it gains critical. So again, we're only going to be able to give Shadow Dragons in our battle area critical, not our leader. Next, we've got Super Natron Shenron, Congregating Evil. It's another 2 cost, 9k with the same permanent. And when this one's played, we look at top 5 cards of the deck, add up to 1 red Shadow Dragon, energy cost of 4 or less, or red unison with a specified cost of 2. We have a lot of Shadow Dragons in this deck that are 4 or less, so it's great to be able to search all of those out, but also the unison that we're using as well. Nova Shenron, Tenacious Evil, another 2 cost, this one's 15k. We've got an auto, limit 1, if your opponent has 2 or more energy, when this card is placed in a drop area from a battle area by one of your skills, play this card from your drop and then draw 1 card. And then an activate main for 1 red energy. If your leader is a Z leader, or you have 6 or more Z energy, play this card from your hand. So a great way to be able to play this card for 1 energy, swing with it for 15k, and then use our leader's effect to minus this card, send it to the drop, we get to replay it and then draw a card. So some great synergy with the leader. And then we've got Ice Shenron, Reanimating Evil. So similar effect, when it's placed in the drop area by one of our skills, we get to play it, but instead of drawing a card, this time the card gains critical. We've got the same activate main as well, so depending on whether we want to see another card or swing critical, we have the options there. Unison for the deck, we've got SS4 Gogeta, Powers Connection. It's a 2-cost 15k. When this card is played, we get to look at the top 3 cards of the deck, add up to 1 red card among them to our hand, and then place the remaining at the bottom of the deck, so we don't need to show our opponent either. Well, we do actually, because it's a red card, so we need to show them that it is red, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a Shadow Dragon. It's a +2 activate main, play up to 1 red battle card with an energy cost of 1 from our hand in rest mode, and then a -4 activate battle. This card gains plus 15,000 power and double strike for the battle, so we can accumulate markers on this Unison extremely easily, being able to +2 every turn. And then the great thing about the -4 is that it is activate battle, so our opponent will either need to negate before we minus the markers, or deal with a 30k double strike. The +2 also allows us to play the Oceanus, Haze, and Natron from our hand to get the effects to draw or search, and then we can pitch the cards from the battle area to be able to give our battle cards barrier or critical. Next, we've got Raid Shenron, Impenetrable Evil. It's a unique critical blocker with 15k counter attack, limit 1. So we get to negate the attack and then play this card. With a permanent, if your leader is a red Sin Shenron Z leader, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So we do get to go to our Z leader when we're at 3 life, so quite low, and it's good to just be able to have that free negate, play the card, and then we've got the blocker there as well. Next, we've got Sin Shenron Dread Destroyer. It's a 4-cost, double strike, 20k. Choose one of your other Shadow Dragon cards and KO it. When this card attacks, choose up to 1 battle card or Unison, and it gets minus 20,000 power for the turn. We've got to activate main, limit 1 for 1 red energy. If your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card, and your leader is a Z leader, or you have 6 or more Z energy, draw 1 card and then play this card from your hand. The auto is really good because we can again choose to KO some of our 2-cost or 1-cost weenie Shadow Dragons that we're playing for free off the Unison, to be able to remove a marker or remove a battle card from the field, and then if we're swinging 20k double strike into that same Unison, we can easily remove 3 markers just with 1 attack. Moving on to our boss monster for the deck, we've got Omega Shenron Unfeeling Retribution. It's an 8-cost 30k, and it's got deflect and triple strike as well, so a couple of great effects. We've seen a lot of 30ks when it comes to Shadow Dragons, especially Sin and Omega Shenron, so it's great to see another one. Permanent, when this card's power would be reduced, it gets plus 5,000 power until the start of your next turn instead. If this happens, negate this skill until the start of your next turn. So really good against red, if they're going to be doing things like trying to neg our board to 0, but as we saw with our leader and the 4 costs in Shenron, we can neg the skills of our own cards to get some extra effects. So in this situation, we'd only be giving our Omega Shenron plus 5,000 while removing a marker or a battle card off our opponent. Activate main, limit 1 for 2 red energy. If your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card or red Z leader and you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand, and then activate battle once per turn. Choose up to 1 battle card or Unison, and it gets minus 3,000 power for the turn for each of your Z energy. Additionally, if your leader is a Z leader, choose up to 1 battle card or Unison, and it gets minus 30,000 power for the turn. So just another way to be able to remove markers off Unisons or 30k off a battle card, which is quite big, without really spending much energy and things like that. Again, it's an activate battle, so if we do get into that battle step with this card, our opponent has a lot to deal with since they're staring down the barrel of a 30k triple strike or 35 triple strike, and we can again easily just remove markers off their Unison. Next, we've got SS Son Goku, Pan, and Trunks Galactic Explorers, a great card that came out of Ultimate Squad. It's a 30k deflect, activate main for 3 red energy. If you have 4 or more energy, play this card from under a Unison. We're going to activate main once per turn, Spirit Boost 3. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 30,000 power for the turn, and this card gains triple attack for the turn. And then an activate main, limit 1, choose one of your red Unisons with 10,000 power or more, place this card under it from your hand or battle area, and add a marker to the chosen card. Again, we're accumulating so many markers on our Unison that the Spirit Boost 3 really isn't anything to worry about, and 3 energy for a 30k triple attack is pretty good value when you have that alongside some of the other boss monsters that we're able to establish pretty early, since we can play this card on turn 4, but a lot of our other cards we can play on turn 3, which is really good. We've got 1 copy of Golden Frieza and Android 17 Determined Tag Team. It's a 15k Empower Red 2, so if we play this over a Unison that we already have on the field, we'll carry over 2 of those markers. Auto Burst 1, if this card has 4 or more markers, when it's played, draw 1 card, and then a once per turn if it's your turn. When a card is placed in your drop area from your deck, add a marker to this card, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the turn. And then we've got the minus 4 Activate Main. This card gets plus 5,000 power and triple attack for the turn. So a great way to carry over those markers from Gogeta. If we're able to accumulate, to 6, 7, 8 markers, we can easily do the minus 4, swing 30k double strike, and then play this for 2 markers, and do the minus 4 immediately, since we will add 1 marker from its own burst, and then swing 20k triple attack. Vegeta Resolve Renewed, great counterplay for red. If the battle card being played is 15,000 power or less, it's placed in the drop area instead. And if we have 3 or more energy, we reduce the cost of this card in deck and hand by 2. So a great way to counterplay some of the floodgates. King Piccolo, the new ruler, 15k double strike with the permanent to give it the extra 5k, and our opponent can't activate blocker in response to the attack. Great with the amount of blocker negates that are running around at the moment, and since we don't have Overwhelm, it's a great way to free play a 20k double strike. If we have a red Unison, 3 or more markers, we get to play it from hand for free. This card is limited now, so we don't need to worry about not being able to play it for the turn, and at the end of the turn we send it to the warp. Violent Rays, there's a lot of 30ks running around, not just in this deck, but in every other deck as well. So we get to negate the attack for 1, and we may choose 1 card and discard it, and if we do, we choose if we want our opponent to not be able to attack with 20,000 power or more battle cards, or 20,000 power or more Unisons. Really great against things like the yellow Gohan Unison that can swing 25k triple attack, but also some of the 30k battle cards that are out there. Testing the opposition, our own token negate. So if our life is at 5 or less, we can activate the card's counter skill by taking 1 card from our life to our hand. We get to negate the attack and play a token with 5,000 power and against blocker for the turn. It's worth noting that these red ones also have 5,000 combo power, which some of the other tokens don't. 4 Raditz super combo. If our life is at 4 or less, bottom deck card gets 10,000 combo power and we get to draw 2. And then secret rare for the deck, we've gone with SSB Vegeta, Unbridled Power. Would have loved to run the new SS4 Vegito, but unfortunately the Overwhelm does require a red Saiyan leader. But nonetheless, this is still an excellent red secret rare, and I think some people definitely have a bit of a hard choice deciding which one to run, since this one has such a great board wipe. So it's dual attack, sparking 25, ultimate deflect triple strike. Activate main for 4 red energy. Play this card from your hand. You may have one of your opponent's leader cards get minus 5,000 power for the turn. And then the activate main, we remove this card from the game, choose all of our opponent's battle cards and Unisons, ignoring barrier, place them in the owner's drop area, and then place 1 card from our opponent's life in the drop area. Something you have to watch out for against red decks. Pretty much if you don't see their secret rare and you go down to 1 life, chances are they're going to play this on you and pretty much kill you without having to attack or do anything. So it's definitely something to watch out for. You can win games just off this card alone, but it does put a lot of pressure on your opponent just by clearing their whole board. Moving into the Z deck, we've got Omega Shenron Merciless Negativity. It's a Z Awaken for 7 Z energy. So we will require 1 other Z energy outside of the cracked Dragon Balls, since there's only 6 of those in the deck, and this card is 20k double strike, Z Awaken when your life is at 3 or less and your opponent has 3 or more energy over a red Sin Shenron. So we pay the skill cost, send the Z energy to the drop area, and play this card from the Z deck. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1, and then the activate main once per turn. Choose one of your Shadow Dragon battle cards and up to one battle card or unison. The chosen card gets minus 20,000 power for the turn. Additionally, you may remove 6 Dragon Ball cards in your drop from the game. If you do, play up to one red Shadow Dragon card from your hand. So a couple of great effects again to remove markers and things like that, but also gives us some more effects similar to like a Wish, where we remove the Dragon Balls from the game after we've paid the energy cost to Z Awaken. So it gives us some more use for them rather than just being dead cards in the drop. And then we get to play one of our red Shadow Dragons from the drop area, from our hand for free. And generally we're going to want that to be the 8 drop, since that's our big boss monster for the time being, unless we see other ones come out like they did with the yellow Shenron deck, where we saw kind of additional support come out over the next couple of sets. I'd love for them to do that again, but it does look like it's a bit more of a completed deck this time round. Perhaps we may just see some promos and things like that to support it. And then Rush Attack SSB Vegeta, 2 cost 15k, 2 Z energy as well. Deflect, when this card attacks, use up to one mono red with card with 5,000 combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. Additionally, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison, and it gets minus 20,000 power, minus 15,000 power for the turn. Activate main once per turn. If you have 4 or more Z energy, switch this card to active mode, and it gets plus 10,000 power, double strike, and barrier for the turn. An incredible card for this deck, since we're able to get Z energy so easily, and all that it requires is just us having the Z energy. We don't need to use them. But to be able to play this card for 2 energy to get a 25k double strike, barrier, deflect, that's going to be able to combo for free. So we're going to get it to 30k on our attack, and we get to minus markers off our opponent's unisons. A really great card for the deck, and a deck that I'm looking forward to playing. Once it got revealed, I had a lot of people message me, say, you know, you're going to be playing Red Sin Shenron, and it does look like I'm going to give it a try. But let me know what you think of the deck. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next deck idea.